It began quietly, almost too quietly for the weight of what it claimed to be. On November 2nd, 2000, in an obscure online forum hosted by the Time Travel Institute, a user going by the name timetravel_0 posted a message unlike any other. The user claimed to be a soldier from the year 2036. His mission? To travel back in time and retrieve an IBM 5100 computer, an obscure machine from the 1970s that, according to him, had a hidden function capable of debugging legacy systems in 2036. A global computer crisis was coming, he warned, and this machine could help stop it. At first, few paid attention, but as his posts became more frequent and disturbingly specific, the internet began to take notice, and soon the world would come to know the name John Titor. John Titor's story wasn't just science fiction. It was a detailed and structured narrative, dripping with technical jargon and framed as a military operation. He claimed to be part of a government time travel project in Florida, using a device mounted in a 1967 Chevy Corvette. The machine, built by General Electric, allegedly used micro-singularities to bend time and gravity. He didn't just describe his technology. He offered diagrams, schematics, even instructions on how it supposedly worked. While many dismissed it as an elaborate hoax, others were captivated by the eerie confidence in his tone and the uncanny accuracy of some of his cultural and political predictions. He spoke of civil unrest in America beginning in the mid-2000s, leading to a fractured United States and a devastating civil war by 2015. He warned of censorship, fractured media, and internal collapse. And he posted these warnings years before many of those concerns would dominate public discourse. Titor painted a stark vision of the future. In his time, the United States was a decentralized republic of smaller communities, reeling from years of conflict. Cities had collapsed, the internet as we knew it was gone, and daily life had reverted to a more agrarian existence. The war had claimed millions of lives, and yet, he claimed, it had brought about a kind of renewal, an end to corruption, and a return to civic responsibility. He spoke of nuclear conflict with Russia in 2015 and an aftermath that reshaped global power dynamics. In his words, it was not the end of the world, but the end of the world as we knew it. While much of what he predicted has not come to pass, the tone and trajectory of his descriptions resonated with a society increasingly unsure of its future. One of the most compelling pieces of the Titor puzzle centered around the IBM 5100. Titor claimed this now antique computer possessed a hidden ability. It could emulate older mainframe systems, specifically systems used in government infrastructure that would still be critical decades into the future. At the time, few people knew of this undocumented feature, but IBM engineers confirmed that the 5100 indeed had this capability, knowledge that wasn't public when Titor first mentioned it. This revelation sparked a wave of credibility for his claims. It was either a remarkable coincidence or the sign of someone with access to highly specialized, perhaps classified knowledge. Titor frequently referenced the theory of time travel that avoided paradoxes by invoking the concept of a many-worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. In his model, every decision splits the timeline, creating alternate realities that coexist in a multiverse. This meant that the 2000s he arrived in were not his own past, but a close variant, one where his actions wouldn't directly alter his own future. It allowed him to discuss events, make predictions, and influence discussions without collapsing his timeline. The theory wasn't just convenient, it echoed real discussions in theoretical physics. Scientists like Hugh Everett and later proponents of quantum multiverse theory had posited similar frameworks. Whether by luck or design, Titor's science aligned eerily well with modern speculation. By 2001, Titor's posts had attracted a global following. Websites began archiving his writings, analyzing his predictions, and debating the authenticity of his claims. He never revealed his real identity, never asked for money, and never veered from his mission narrative. Then, just as mysteriously as he arrived, he disappeared. In March 2001, Titor announced he was returning to 2036. His final message thanked the forum members for the conversation, and then he vanished. No further posts, no confirmed sightings, just silence. But the legend lived on. Books were written, documentaries produced. His name echoed through internet forums, conspiracy circles, and even mainstream media. John Titor became more than a user. He became a symbol of the digital age's hunger for mystery. Over the years, many have tried to uncover John Titor's real identity. In 2009, a private investigator traced the earliest mentions of Titor to a Florida-based lawyer named Larry Haber, whose brother just happened to be a computer scientist. Some speculated that the entire saga was an elaborate performance art piece or viral marketing campaign. Others believe it was a coordinated psychological experiment to test how easily the internet could amplify myth. Yet, no conclusive proof has emerged. Titor left no digital footprints, no traceable IP addresses, and no verifiable offline identity. The mystery of his persona has remained intact. A ghost in the machine. While Titor's vision of civil war and global conflict didn't materialize as he described, several of his cultural and technological observations did strike close to home. He predicted growing political division in America, increased federal surveillance, and the erosion of civil liberties. He spoke of viruses, supply chain collapse, and the shift toward localized, decentralized communities. He described geopolitical tension with Russia long before the Crimean conflict or cyber warfare would make headlines. Critics argue these are vague, cold-read predictions. But his supporters claim his insight lies not in precise dates, but in the underlying trends he warned about, trends we're still watching unfold. Psychologists have noted how stories like Titor's thrive in times of uncertainty. The early 2000s were marked by Y2K fears, political upheaval, and the dawn of an always online society. In that context, a story like Titor's served as both warning and comfort, a narrative that explained the chaos and offered meaning. More than that, it was interactive. Unlike books or films, Titor could respond, debate, and adapt in real time. His story evolved with the audience, blending fiction and reality in a way that challenged the very definition of truth. This participatory mystery, a puzzle scattered across forums, invited not just curiosity, but collaboration. In some ways, the myth of John Titor became a prototype for future internet legends, like Slenderman or Cicada 3301. Titor's legacy continues to echo through pop culture. References to him appear in anime like Steins Gate, novels, video games, and sci-fi television. The idea of a lone traveler from a dystopian future sent to correct a broken timeline has become a recurring archetype. Meanwhile, real-world discussions of time travel continue to evolve, Physicists debate closed time-like curves, quantum entanglement, and wormholes. While still theoretical, the science of time manipulation is no longer dismissed out of hand. In that light, Titor's story occupies a curious place, not as proof, but as inspiration, a what-if scenario that refuses to fade. Today, the original Titor posts are preserved like ancient scrolls, screen-capped, archived, and analyzed down to the punctuation. Some threads have been lost to defunct servers. Others have been meticulously preserved by those still chasing the mystery. For those who believe, the message remains clear. The future is not fixed. It is a branching river, shaped by every choice. Titor may have come and gone, but his story left behind a ripple, a reminder that we shape tomorrow with every decision made today. In the vast digital wilderness of the early internet, one voice stood out. Calm, cryptic, and impossibly precise. John Titor didn't just tell a story. He built a world, and in doing so, became part of ours. Was he a hoaxer, a visionary, or truly a man displaced in time? Perhaps the answer matters less than the impact of his tale. In a time of chaos, he offered a map of what might come, and a warning of what we could still avoid. The thread may have ended, but the story goes on. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and always question the timeline you're in. You've just explored another mystery with JB Animated Mysteries. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And turn on notifications so you never miss a story where facts and fiction collide. Until next time, the truth is out there. Keep looking.